But the reason I've got the good news and the bad news, the lemon hamawaki, I'll be honest, I don't think there's any way back for it. I've now lost the Hiosuri, the Sankey could be on its way back. My Virkon Aquatic tablets has now arrived. Hey up my ducks, and welcome your faces back to Sharpest Koi. Right, so in this video, a bit of an update on my poorly fish, all the ones with fin rot. So what has happened since the last video, I've now lost the Hiosuri. The Hiosuri has gone, that passed away. And to be fair, that fish didn't look as bad as what the other fish did. It was only his back tail, there was no redness on it, but you can see where it had all frayed and eroded away. But unfortunately, that one did pass away. So that's two fish now we've lost. Obviously the Shiro Becco, which probably started off as fin rot but definitely developed into dropsy further down the line. I think there's a bit of blood poisoning or septicemia myself, but obviously there's no way of sort of knowing for certain, but it definitely sort of developed a bit of dropsy, pinecone disease, that kind of stuff. Scales were protruding, obviously the redness on it as well, but obviously it all started from the fin rot issue in the first place. So then obviously we've got the lemon hamawaki, which is about to jump out of this bucket, but I'm going to show you the lemon hamawaki in a minute. And of course I've got the Sankey / Showa, whichever one it is. It was a Sankey, I think now it's a Showa. Yeah, so this is in another bucket which I'll show you in a minute as well. But the reason I've got the good news and the bad news, I'll start off straight away. The lemon hamawaki, I'll be honest, I don't think there's any way back for it. And in this video I am going to actually cull it, I'm going to euthanize it, because once I show you, you'll know why. The Sankey Showa, again I'll show you in a sec, looks like, fingers crossed, touch wood, touch bold heads, could be on its way back. But again, that's going to continue with the salt bath and the topical treatment. For the sake of the lemon hamawaki's health and for the sake of my other fish's health, I think this is going to be the kindest thing to do, and like I said, I will show you in a sec. So first of all I've been doing these last few weeks is trying to get to the cause of the issue. It's alright trying to solve the issue, but you need to get to the root of it at the same time. Water testing has been going through the roof. I've been water testing for all the time, and it's still been spot on. Nitrites, ammonia, everything is how it should be. pH as well, obviously pH fluctuations which can happen this time of year with all the rain and stuff, but it's been steady, it's been stable. So the only thing I'm really putting this down to is my water quality in terms, like I said on past videos, with waste, build-up of waste. Again, the problem is with liners, you can have creases in there which can harbour waste, and it can get all sorts of bacteria, plants as well. So my hoovering has been extensive as well these last few weeks. Even with a retro drain, I didn't think I'd have to start hoovering it every week, but I am doing, because I need to get to the root of this issue. And it's the only really probable cause I can see. Now, there's a couple of you in the comments have been commenting about why am I trying to ask for advice when I need to try and find out the root of the issue. Well, what do you think I'm doing for a start? I'm going to ask advice. There's people, you guys that watch these videos, I'm sure, and a load of you have been commenting as well, you've been through this yourselves, so the advice has been spot on, it's been great. I really appreciate it. I'm going to sort this lemon hamawaki in a minute, just trying to jump out the bucket. I'm just going to put this net on, bear with. Right, I'm back. So yeah, I am trying to find out the cause of this issue, but I'm never going to know if it's bacterial unless I get bloody Paula Reynolds round or anything like that. And if any of the fish do get worse, then it's the next course of action I can do. I can probably get in touch with this Paula Reynolds and try and find out if it's bacterial or not. Probably is, don't know, but and yes, if it's bacterial because they've been mixing with the fish with the issues, they might have caught something, they might have not, but again, we're never going to know. Just move the net off the top, I don't want it to jump out. So not sure what you can see actually on the camera. So is dorsal fin at the top, more whites than red now. It's not coming back, but this definitely isn't getting any worse. And his back tail, if you remember on that first time we bowled it up, you saw how red it was. Not as bad now at all. You can't really see on here until we sedate it. I'll probably show you again if I get chance. And of course then the vent fin at the back, I'm not going to be able to do this one-handed, but again, it's not as bad, but once it's under sedate, we'll have a better look at that. Now my lemon awaki is currently in a bucket, so I'm about to get the clove oil out and put the poor bugger to sleep, and you'll see why. Now it's a black bucket, so again I'm not sure what you can see, but if it focuses, a better with the focus, you can see my bold head and the reflection of the water. That is now hitting the skin of the koi and is like a hole on his back. So because of that, this poor little bugger is going to have to go to sleep. There's no way back for this, and for the sake of a little fish, I'm not even going to bother. His whole dorsal fin is eroded away anyway. It's not really focusing properly for some reason. If it was in a blue bowl, you might be able to see it a bit better, but yeah. So we're going to get the clove oil. There's only 3 litres of water in there, so about 10 drops of clove oil per litre. That'll probably, so 30 drops. Give it half hour or so, and he'll be fast asleep. But yeah, there's no way back for this, unfortunately. So what we can do is concentrate on getting this Sankey, put this back over the top because he is splashing. Concentrate on this guy, and then of course fingers crossed. What I've also done these past few weeks, have you seen the aquaflavin doses? I've actually got every single fish out as well, and I've given them a good thorough check over, because sometimes it can go unnoticeable, especially if it is the vent fin. I was a bit worried about the Benikikiguru at one stage, but he is fine, to be fair. And fingers crossed none of these guys. Got from him. It's a shame because he could turn out into a nice lemon awaki, but we can always get another one. For a Deutz koi, his scales you can't really see on camera, it's not focusing very well in the black bucket, but it is, you've got a couple of protruded scales at the back there, all the sores are. It's not fair on him, and it's not fair on these guys. So while he's being put to sleep, we can have a go at the Sankey, another salt bath, more topical treatment. Once he's under the sedate, I'll try and get the camera out and give you a better look of his fins. So those of you that have never used clove oil to euthanize your fish, it is a much humane way of doing it, my honest opinion. So use basically 10 drops of clove oil per litre of water, so I've got 3 litres in there, so 30 drops, but you mix this with warm water rather than cold. There we go. And it'll go a bit discoloured as well, if you can see on there. So I'll drop that in. Just let that do his magic. Poor little bugger. He'll thrash around a bit. He'll get a bit excited, but yeah. So I'm not going to film that. I did do a video a few years ago actually on my second channel, because before I did my pond channel. So I've had to euthanize fish, because I used to breed goldfish, so I used to had a few I needed to euthanize because of those going a bit deformed and stuff like that. So it's a shame, but it's the best thing for it and the best thing for me with fish. Right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to set up a salt bath on my Sankey. Also, what I am going to do, I'm going to do some more scrapes. I'm going to scrape on this fish for a few weeks now, so again, it's just to rule stuff out. But you could do with it anyway. I haven't really seen the fish flashing around, but I'm just thinking while it's in a salt bath or under the sedate, it'd be a good chance to do it. Right, we can just see, because it's going to be a bit hard through the bowl of the bucket, but can't really see like that, can you? I'll wait till it got under sedate. I'll see if the missus can just video it, 'cause that's why you've not seen it before, because it's just hard to do myself when I'm trying to topical treat it and stuff. Yeah, you can't really see through there. So I'm going to get him back out in a minute. The lemon awaki is still not proper put to sleep yet, so just be careful when you are euthanizing your fish. Leave it a good hour, sometimes longer if need be, because don't forget it is an anaesthetic, and if you can take them out too early, they might just wake up again. So make sure he's cleaned up. I'm just about to get some sedate in there now. I only had a bit of top coat sealer left, so I need to get more of that this week. But it's just coming around. I'll just put him in a blue bowl for now, so I'm going to just give it a quick scrape. Bleeding from the gills, so it's normally female koi that bleeds from the gills under stress. So just a few drops come out, open up his gills, and a few drops come out as it's starting to come around. So I'm just going to quickly get a scrape done, and then that's something else we can just rule out again as well. Okay, right, scrapes. again, nothing to worry about, just like with the Shiva Becca, it was the odd fluke, nothing in, infestation of it at all. I couldn't see any other parasites on there. Flukes are always going to be around, to be honest with you. But again, I've not seen the fish scraping, flashing, anything like that, so I can't see there's going to be a massive infestation, and the flukes won't be the cause of what's going on with the fish anyway. But it's just something I just wanted to rule out, and it was just something worth doing while it was under sedate, may as well. So I was just watching the other fish. So the lemon amaraki is the gill is still moving slightly, so I'll leave him in there a bit longer. Right, so Mr. Sankey, focus camera, he's coming around a bit, so I'm going to get him back in the pond. What I'm going to do, so obviously it's a case of keeping an eye on this fish now, and the others, obviously make sure nothing is spreading through the pond. If this does start to get worse where it attacks the skin, and then I'm going to probably call this one as well, to be honest with you. But it's a case of just keeping an eye on it. And what I think I am going to do, I think what I'm going to do going forward is keep an eye on the Sankey. And if this does get worse, then I'll call it as well. I'm not bothered. If it's the kindest thing to do for the fish and for the sake of the other fish, then it's probably the best thing to do. Now I do have a paddling pool which was set up when we did the pond upgrade last year. Or was it the year before? So I could set that up and get this fish in there and get it salted to maybe 0.6% solution, and maybe ramp it up with some heat as well. Now I might have an easy pod put on there. My father-in-law is actually closing down his pond, and he's got an easy pod on there which he's offered me, so I'm thinking of set up a quarantine tank anyway in the future. So I was going to take this easy pod, so I might do that and get that all set up and put this Sankey in it. He's also offered me a lot of his fish. Now I can't fit a lot of the fish in this pond, so there's probably 2 or 3 which I would take from his collection. But again, no fish is going in this pond right now until I've got on top of what's going on, especially without quarantine. So do I bite the bullet and get my quarantine tank that I was going to buy in the future bought, set up, ready to go, use it as a hospital tank now for the Sankey. Sorry, for the fish from my father-in-law, and then the Sankey can go in the paddling pool, which means then when the fish from my father-in-law come out the quarantine, they can go straight into the pond, all being well, no other fish have caught anything. He's swimming around there, he wants to go back in the pond, so we're getting back in. Right guys, it's actually the day after now, so before I end the video, my Virkon Aquatic tablets has now arrived. So I've been recommended to use this to dose the pond with. Never actually used Virkon Aquatic before, and really reading up about it, I should have done. Great disinfectant for a lot of pathogens out there in your pond, so if you're not using this, well, let's see how it goes in my pond before I do highly recommend it, but from what I've been told, it needs to be recommended. So I'm going to get 2 tablets of this. I'm just going to let them dissolve in a bucket, and then we can get the bucket dispersed across the water of the pond, and fingers crossed that, there's nothing else to lose, is there really? So we'll see how we go. So I'm not sure if you can see there, but you would have seen how red it was when we took it out of the pond yesterday through the stress. So when he's in the pond, all the redness goes down on his fins. You can't really see on the camera. Yes, you can't really tell on there, but the redness has gone down again. It's normally when I get it out through stress, it does pick up, but yeah. Now, something to keep an eye on as well is your biological filtration. It can have a bit of a knock-on effect. I mean, you can get Virkon and Virkon Aquatic, and Virkon is a lot more of a stronger disinfectant. So ideally use the Virkon Aquatic, and you shouldn't really have much of an issue on your biological filtration, so I've been told. But obviously as a precaution, I will be keeping an eye on that anyway. I'm doing it quite vigorously at the minute because I'm trying to keep an eye on what's going on in the pond. So it's just, just keep an eye on your biological filtration. I am going to sterilise all my nets, all my bowls, things like my wooden spooner using the filter brushes, that kind of thing. Any equipment I use is all going to get disinfectants as well. Obviously going forward, this is what I need to be doing a lot more, and it's my own fault, I don't do it enough. I can't remember the last time I sterilised my nets, I'm going to be completely honest, hand on heart. So going forward, you know, it's a bit of a wake-up call when you get something like this, because obviously in 20 years I never really had an issue. I never put chemicals in my pond, hardly. So like I say, it's a bit of a wake-up call to get stuff done like this. So yeah, so everything will get disinfectant. The Virkon is now all dissolved. It's in the ponds. I've just dispersed it across where all the water returns and things like that are on the air stones. So just a case of keeping an eye on the fish before I go to work now. So yeah, and fingers crossed, innit, really. Right, now standing in the garage because it's just starting to rain. So I just want to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you out there that actually commented on some of these past few videos since I've had this fin rot issue. I've really taken some of this advice on board. I've had some good comments, I've had some bad comments, but even if you give me a bad comment, I'm still going to listen, I'll still take advice on board. And so yeah, I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you very much. And of course, if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you don't have a Google account, it's free to set up and you can subscribe away. And of course, hit the bell to get a notification every single time I post a video, which hopefully should be once a week. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as well. So all being well, I'll see you next week with some better news. So fingers crossed. Cheers, my ducks. Bye.